All right, today we're going to flip the script on ADHD. We're going to stop talking about it like it's some kind of disorder that holds you back and start looking at it for what it really is, a high-performance trait. And when you get how it works, it can become your single greatest competitive edge. So, let's get into it.
Look, for so many of us, this is exactly where the story starts, right? With a label, a diagnosis, and it feels less like an explanation and more like a verdict. You were told you were unfocused, impulsive, restless. The world basically decided who you were before you even had a chance to figure it out for yourself.
But what if all of that? What if those labels that have maybe defined you for years, what if they're just flat out wrong, based on a huge misunderstanding? The idea that you're broken or lazy or that you lack potential, that is a lie. It's just a story told by a world that wasn't built for a mind like yours.
And this right here is the shift in thinking we're talking about. Where society sees chaos, you need to start seeing untamed brilliance. What they call an attention deficit, that's not a deficit, it's an overdrive. Your mind is running on a whole other frequency. It's not a broken mind. No way. It's a mind that's built for battle, built for forging new paths and solving problems in ways other people can't even dream of.
You've got to get this into your head. Your mind isn't missing a single thing. It's not slow. It's actually too fast, too sharp, too alive for the boring, mediocre stuff. So the challenge isn't that you lack ability. The challenge is learning how to aim this incredible power. Because let's be real, a gift this intense can be pretty destructive if you don't know how to handle it.
So how do you actually do that? How do you aim it? Well, we're going to walk through a 5-step framework. This is the playbook for turning that raw power into a legit superpower. We're talking about reframing your identity, weaponizing clarity, channeling that insane hyperfocus, mastering your emotions, and then designing your legacy.
Let's start at the very foundation, right? Your internal code. Look, before you can change a single thing you do, you have to change the story you're telling yourself about who you are.
Okay, so step 1, reframe your identity. And I can't stress this enough. This is the most critical step of them all. Why? Because your identity dictates your behavior. It's that simple. If you believe you're defective, you're going to act like you're defective. But the moment you see yourself as having a high-performance brain that just needs some high-performance strategies, everything changes. You stop trying to cram yourself into a normal box and you start building systems that actually match your power.
And this change? It starts with the words you use inside your own head. So instead of thinking, ugh, I'm so bad at focusing, you switch the script. You say, my brain focuses like a laser on what actually matters. I'm just learning how to aim it. Or that feeling of being too intense? No, that intensity is the fuel that builds empires. Look, this isn't just some fluffy positive thinking. This is about aligning how you see yourself with the actual reality of how you're wired.
All right, so once you've accepted you're basically working with fire, the next question is pretty obvious, right? Where do you point it? Because raw power without any direction, that's just chaos. That's just destruction. And that brings us to the next absolutely crucial step.
Step 2, weaponize clarity. Let me be clear about this. Your brain doesn't need to be controlled, it needs to be directed. It doesn't thrive on some scattered 10-item to-do list. It craves a single, all-consuming, emotionally charged mission. As soon as your purpose is crystal clear, your brain locks on like a missile. See, you don't lack motivation, you just lack a mission that's worthy of your focus.
So how do you actually build that kind of clarity? First, you pick one mission. Not 5, not 10, 1. Because when everything's a priority, nothing is. Second, you burn the alternatives. Seriously, close the escape hatches. Elimination is what builds focus. Third, make your goal visual. Put it on a whiteboard, a vision board, somewhere you see it constantly so it seeps into your subconscious. Then, create a no list. This is a list of your mission's enemies, all the distractions you're going to say no to. And finally, you have to connect it to your new identity. Don't say, I want to start a business. No. You say, I am building something that will outlive me.
Okay, so now you've got a new identity and a crystal clear target. Now it's time to unleash the big guns. We're talking about the 2 most powerful and honestly most misunderstood traits of the ADHD mind, hyperfocus, and that insane emotional intensity.
Which brings us to step 3, channeling hyperfocus. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that state where time just melts away. The whole world vanishes. This is not a glitch. It's not a disorder. It is one of the most powerful cognitive tools a human being can possess. The problem is, if you don't aim it on purpose, it gets hijacked by every cheap dopamine trap out there. Social media, video games, you name it. Our mission is to take it back and wield it like a precision weapon.
So to aim it,
First, you got to align your big goals with your natural obsessions, the things you can't stop thinking about anyway. Then you protect that focus. You have to be ruthless about eliminating distractions. Create rituals. A specific playlist, a certain place to work, whatever it is that tells your brain, okay, it's time to lock in. And, this is a big one, design your missions with clear finish lines. Your brain needs that hit of satisfaction from completing something. And as always, tie it all back to your identity.
But here's the thing, attention is only half the battle. The other side of the coin, the part people almost always overlook, is emotion. See, with ADHD, you don't just think fast, you feel fast. You feel everything, and you feel it deeply. And that emotional roller coaster can feel like a weakness, but I'm telling you, it's actually your power source.
And that leads us right into step 4, master emotional momentum. Your emotions aren't a weakness, they're jet fuel. The goal isn't to become some emotionless robot. The goal is to grab the steering wheel and channel that intensity into pure drive. So when you feel that sting of rejection, or that fire of frustration, or even the high of a win, you don't push it down. You ask yourself one question: where can I point this power? And then you aim it straight at your mission.
Okay, let's pull back for a second. You've reframed your identity, you've found crystal clear clarity, you're learning to channel your focus and your emotions. But what's it all for? This final part is where we go beyond just managing yourself. This is about creating a lasting impact.
And it all culminates in step 5, design a legacy. Look, you were not built to fit in, period. You were built to leverage your unique wiring to create something real, something tangible, something that actually makes a dent in the universe and outlives you. That's the whole point of harnessing these traits, to build something that matters, something only you can build.
So what's the path? It's about finding your zone of genius, that sweet spot where your obsession crashes into a real-world need. It means actively choosing creation over consumption. You were made to be a builder, not just a spectator. It's about building your entire life around your strengths, instead of wasting all your energy trying to patch up your weaknesses. And finally, it's about taking your own personal chaos and turning it into a methodology, a system that other people can actually use.
All right, let's bring this all home. It is time to stop looking at yourself through the lens of a world that just doesn't get it. It's time to start seeing yourself for what you truly are.
Where they saw restlessness, you are raw, untapped potential. Where they saw distraction, you have multidimensional thinking. And where they saw chaos, you hold the capacity to build entire worlds. That is the truth of how you're wired. So if there's one single thing you take away from all of this, let it be this: you do not need to fix yourself. You were never broken to begin with. You just need to finally unleash yourself. Your ADHD isn't your enemy. It's your edge. So I'm going to leave you with a question to chew on. The world has more than enough copies, more than enough people trying to fit in. It doesn't need another one. It needs your unique, beautiful, chaotic brilliance. So, will you unleash it?